Kunne I tænke jer at se mig spille Pokémon Brilliant Diamond og Shining Pearl? Er det sådan, at jeg plejer at bytte rundt på navnene? Kunne I tænke jer at se mig spille det her spil? Det håber jeg, for jeg har i hvert fald planlagt, at jeg vil spille dem. Og derfor har jeg klikket på den her video med en 10-14 ting I wish I knew before I started playing. Altså en masse tips til, hvad man burde vide, inden man starter med at spille spillet. Her kommer tip nummer 1.
Let's go. The classic tradition of choosing from among a fire, water, or grass starter is back once again in Brilliant.
Og det skulle vel aldrig være klassikeren med, at det altid er Fire-Pokémon, der er stærkest, fordi der er så mange Grass-Pokémon, man encounter in the wild til start med.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but the types of gyms that you're gonna face have a big impact on your
Jeg kunne sige, at jeg valgte Piplup i mit første playthrough, som bliver til Emporion, eller sådan noget, sådan en pingvin-ting.
If you want a much easier time, choose Chimchar. Seriously, choose the cute fire monkey.
Og det er fordi, der er så mange plante-Pokémon til start med.
This Pokemon's combination of fire and fighting type moves will remain useful throughout almost the entire game, with only a few exceptions when you're faced with water-based area, which an early game Shinx will easily solve.
Ja, så det vil sige, at han smadrer igennem det meste i hele spillet, indtil man møder en sådan vand-Pokémon tunge steder, fordi et vand er rigtig godt imod ild. Men så fanger man bare sådan en Shinx, som er electric, og bum, så er du super effektiv mod vand. Og det er et godt tip, men det er faktisk noget, jeg godt kunne finde på at gøre det fuldstændig modsat af, for jeg vil ikke have, at det skal være for nemt.
Piplup and Turtwig will evolve into interesting type combinations.
Især fordi den her bliver faktisk til en rigtig fed sidste udvikling.
Into interesting type combinations, with Piplup's Empoleon being a water steel type, and Turtwig's Torterra being a grass ground, but they are fairly evenly matched in terms of trying to give yourself an extra challenge.
De plejer at være ret balanceret i stats starter Pokémon'erne.
Any one of these starters though will have their usefulness and advantages, of course, and if you prefer the look or style of a particular starter, by all means follow your instincts. But if you want to essentially play Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on easy mode, then trust me, choose Chimchar.
Og det har jeg faktisk ikke lyst til at spille det. Det skal ikke, fordi det behøver ikke være nemt. Så jeg tror faktisk, jeg vælger en af de andre. Fordi jeg valgte Piplup i mit første playthrough, så tror jeg faktisk, jeg vælger deres plant Pokémon.
Once upon a time,
Mew
was among the most rare of all Pokémon, only available through special giveaways or nefarious game cheats. Nowadays, though, Nintendo hands out the adorable little psychic cat a lot more readily, and
en level 1 Mew, så ham kan man simpelthen også få hurtigt.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are no exception. You can claim the mythical Mew and Jirachi by simply having save data from Pokémon Sword Shield and Pokémon Let's Go.
Det har jeg. Jeg har spillet Sword and Shield. De nyeste udgaver.
Sword and Shield will grant you Jirachi, while Let's Go save data will give you Mew. You can
Undskyld, nej.
Save data, Let's Go. Sword and Shield will grant you Jirachi, while Let's Go save data will give you Mew. You can
så hvis man har spillet Sword and Shield, så får man Jirachi, hvilket jeg har allerede forstået hypen omkring den Pokémon.
access both of them fairly early, though not right at the beginning. Once you reach Floroma Town, though, you will see an elderly couple standing together in a field of flowers to the left.
Skal man købe Pokémon Let's Go bare for at få Mew tidligt?
Of the entrance. Talk to each of them to receive your 2 free legendary Pokémon. The core goal of Pokémon, besides being the best there ever was, is to catch them, which is your real test.
Forskellige Pokéballs.
To help you achieve this goal are the Pokeballs, usually lowering a Pokemon's health to the red bar and adding a status effect like paralysis will help boost your chance of a Pokeball successfully capturing a wild Pokemon. The problem is that as the game progresses, the type of Pokemon you encounter will be at higher levels and are more prone to breaking out of Pokeballs. Thankfully, you'll have the opportunity to buy different Pokeballs later in the game as
Så det her pro-tip, det er, at man simpelthen skal købe de bedre Pokeballs.
well.
Altså, hvor nu bregner han med, vi er?
Great Balls are a good start and are the next level beyond Pokeballs, but Ultra Balls are the bread and butter and will double the success rate of a standard Pokeball. There are also Dusk Balls, which will grant a times 2 success capture rate bonus for being in caves, and another times 2.
Som for eksempel er, de har lavet sådan en, der er sådan en underground i Pearl and Diamond, nu hedder den Grand Underground, tror jeg nok, og der kan du møde mega mange Pokémons nede, som vist nok er, det er sådan ret endgame heavy spillet. Det her, det er jo refortolkninger af de originale Diamond and Pearl, det er derfor det hedder Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, de udkom for den 3-4 år siden. Og dernede, der kan man vist nok få alle starter Pokémonsene fra tidligere generationer, inklusiv Charmander.
bonus if the battle also takes
Og det er den Fire Pokémon, jeg godt gad.
place at night. Timer balls will be more successful the longer a battle goes on. And there are even quick balls, which are my personal favorite. Seriously, stock up on quick balls. It makes catching for your Pokédex less of a chore, and it works really well a good portion of the time.
Det er jo hurtigere, man bruger den, er det ikke det? Jo bedre er den. Det fede det er, at den Pokéball, du fanger din Pokémon i, det er jo også den, de er i, når du kaster dem ud på battlefielden. Så kan du rent faktisk se, så for eksempel hvis du fanger en cave Pokémon i de der Duskballs, så er det det der fede mønster med Duskballen, der kommer, når man kaster Pokémon ud.
So long as you throw the ball right away, and your party gets XP if you catch a Pokémon too. It's a win-win. The Poketch is your all-purpose Sinnoh smart device, complete with functions you'll never use like a calculator. But it's also your
Er der en lommeregner?
shortcut key to hidden machines, or HMs, and their functions. Most of those will trigger automatically when you come to a tree branch that can be cut, or a body of water that can be surfed. And the fly function will automatically trigger when you use your map, indicating a town that you'd like to travel to, as long as you've been there before. Since other functions like the pedometer aren't super useful unless if you're trying to hatch some eggs, you may just want to hold R to dismiss the Poketch rather than have a giant block taking up your screen.
Okay, så man kan fjerne den helt fra displayet.
At some point during your adventure, chances
Grand Underground, der er det.
are you'll need to buff your Pokemon. You could roam around the tall grass for a while, but after a few minutes you'll probably have battled and caught just about everything you can from there. Instead, consider visiting the Grand Underground.
Jeg troede faktisk, det var endgame-sted.
It opens up once you've reached Eterna City and spoken to the Underground Man in the house next to the Pokemon Center.
Så det er måske ikke så langt ind i spillet, man får adgang til... Han hedder simpelthen Underground Man.
And after that point, you can drop down anytime by using the Explorer Kit. The Pokemon in the Grand Underground will consistently keep approximate
Er det Houndoom?
pace with your level, making them appropriate for grinding. Better yet, the Grand Underground is chock full of Pokemon you can't find anywhere else, so it's super helpful if you're looking for a rare find or you just want to catch them all. Speaking of grinding XP, when wandering this world, you'll often find trainers itching to do battle with you.
Og det giver røv meget XP.
While you can feel free to go around them, if you're in need of healing or you just want to move on, don't skip them too often. Battling other trainers nets you more experience than wild Pokemon battles, and the game is generally balanced, assuming you'll be engaging with all or at
Er det Croagunk?
least most of the trainers scattered around the world. If you
Lad os lige tjekke hans hold, hvad han gjort. Gyarados, det er også sådan en fed vand-Pokémon. Den kunne jeg se, han havde på sit hold. Gyarados. Ghastly. Monferno, hans start-Pokémon. Machop. Det er den, der bliver til Machamp. Den er også cool. Staravia. Chansey. What?
If you skip too many though, you might be underleveled and you'll just have to go back and battle them anyway. Through most of Pokemon history, experience share has been a toggle and usually only applied to one Pokemon.
Ja, det er vist nok tvunget, at man XP-share. Du kan ikke give mere XP til en Pokémon. De share vist nok altid XP til spillere.
In Sword and Shield, and now in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it is on by default, can't be turned off, and it impacts your whole party.
Men det er vist nok noget med den aktive Pokémon, der får knockouts, får vist nok altid mere end de andre, men de share stadigvæk.
Even if you're using one Pokemon as your main, be sure to bring party members along who could benefit from getting the extra experience. One good early game example is Magikarp, which you can catch relatively.
Og her er det jo en kæmpe fordel, fordi Magikarp er umulig at level, fordi den er så lort, indtil den bliver til Gyarados. Jeg synes faktisk, det er en af de fedeste Pokémon-designs nogensinde. Fordi den er så useless, Magikarp, ligesom den er i anime-serien. Den er så useless og ligegyldig, men så lige pludselig, når den evolver, så er den bare super powerful. Men her er XP-sharen jo god, fordi du behøver slet ikke at have Magikarp fremme på noget tidspunkt. Du kan bare level den ved hjælp af XP-share.
Relatively early with a fishing pole like an old rod, but Magikarp by itself is useless, which usually meant it was hard or tedious to level it up. The experience share in Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl will let you passively grind it up to level 20, at which point it becomes the much more powerful Gyarados. My recommendation is to keep your starter or a Pokemon you know that will be with you for the long haul in your party at all times, but cycle out the last couple of slots in your party for Pokemon that you can level up passively, since getting them to evolve also gets you closer to your ultimate goal of completing your Pokédex. It's a two birds, one stone type situation.
Sig mig gang, havde han en shiny Luxray? Er Luxray ikke mere blå? Altså udviklingen til Jinxie? Det bliver simpelthen nødt til lige at google. Luxray. Eller hvad? Så det er shiny, eller hvad? Okay. Jeg synes bare, den så meget sort ud, men det er nok den her sprite, der er ret lille.
Pokédex. It's a two birds, one stone type situation.
Det er simpelthen det fedeste shinies. Oh my god.
Pokemon is known for many things, but quick, snappy battles is not one of them. If you want to make your battles just a little bit quicker, you can toggle some of the settings in the options menu. You can turn off battle animations, and the prompt to nickname your newly caught Pokemon, as well as adjust the text speed if you want things to move along a little faster. You can also toggle off the prompt to change Pokemon when your opponent switches, which is also a time saver, but it could put you at a strategic disadvantage for type matchups. And speaking
man simpelthen springer tiden over, hvor han switcher også, men det er vel også der, man får muligheden for selv at switch.
of type matchups, when you go to switch your Pokemon mid-battle, you'll see their moves listed along the right side.
Sygt, han har bare sådan en Gyarados i næsten 50, en Blissey i 55, Luxray i 52, og så en Mew i level 10, som han lige har picket op.
This can be vitally helpful because if you've encountered you'll see their moves listed along the right side. This can be vitally helpful because if you've encountered a Pokemon before and you had them added to your Pokédex, this menu will list the effectiveness of each move against.
Det gjorde den også i Sword and Shield, det er mega fedt. Jeg vidste så ikke, jeg forstod så ikke, hvorfor den kun gjorde det nogle gange. Så det var bare, hvis du har encountered en Pokémon, eller selv ejer den, eller begge dele, så viser den, at hvilke moves der er effektive, når du skifter. Og det er altså rart, fordi det er svært at huske alle weakness og advantages, altså med typerne. Så det er ret fedt, den fortæller en det.
Your current opponent.
Men kun hvis du kender til den Pokémon, du kæmper mod.
Pokemon. And this can be handy for planning out your next move. A few times throughout Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you'll get temporarily partnered up with an NPC. This happens early in the woods, for
double battles.
example, in Eterna Forest, when you're partnered with a friend who will help keep your Pokemon healthy. Take advantage of this by grinding a little extra in the area, since having that access to constant healing means you won't have to venture back to town to stay healthy.
Når hun healer dig efter hver battle, så du kan blive ved med at grind ud i The Wild.
Like some later Pokemon games, you can select one special little monster to follow you around in the overworld. Just visit Amity Park in Hearthrealm to unlock this function, and then swap your following Pokemon by selecting Walk Together after selecting a Pokemon in your party. You can talk to your Pokemon from time to time, and sometimes it might have even found random low-level items. It also gives it a slight passive boost in combat, and once your bond is strong enough, you'll see prompts in combat noting that it might have dodged an attack or even kept from feigning simply due to its friendship with you.
Så man får fordel ved at den Pokémon, der går sammen med en, den får advantages i combat.
In the original Diamond and Pearl, as well as most early Pokemon games, you had to venture back to town and visit a Pokemon Center to use a PC that would let you swap your current party
Alakazam Haunter
with your batch of stored Pokemon. Now it's much simpler because you can simply access the PC box and swap them out anytime from anywhere. That means if you're out wandering the wilderness or the Grand Underground and you want to level up a different set of monsters, it is easy to simply switch them out and keep playing without the time spent going back to town.
Okay, kan man også det i Sword and Shield? Det kan jeg slet ikke huske.
The held items mechanic lets you give your Pokemon passive buffs or emergency healing opportunities. While those are great for battle, even holding an item that doesn't have utility in battle will still help it become happier. What's more, some Pokemon only evolve by holding items, so it's best to keep your party fully stocked.
Er det ikke Eevee, der skal have de der forskellige sten for udvikling?
With items regardless. Also use an amulet coin. You'll eventually stumble upon an amulet coin in Hearthrealm City's Amity Square. Having a Pokemon hold an amulet coin will double the amount of money you get at the end of each trainer battle. This cash will stock up quick and will go a long way in making sure you're well stocked on healing items like different potions, Pokeballs, repels, and more luxury items like high-end TMs or even stylish outfits later in the mid-game.
Sindssygt nok. Amulet coin, så fordobler man coinsene, man tjener.
Now this last one is a little extra tip for me that might not matter too much to beginners, but it is a good thing to pay attention to. Introduced
det med EV'sene?
In Gen 3, every Pokemon now has a personality trait known as Nature, which can directly impact its stats. Some natures are
det er rigtigt, altså alle Pokémons, de har den der Nature, så de kan for eksempel være harsh, eller hvad fanden er det hedder. Sådan at der er en kategori, de har plus i, og en kategori, de har minus i. Og folk, der sådan battler og går op i Pokémon, de går rigtig meget op i, der skal du have de rigtige sådan nature og EVs. Det vil sige, at den kan for eksempel have plus 10% i attack, og så kan det være, at den har minus 10% i speed. Men hvis det alligevel er en langsom Pokémon, så vil du rigtig gerne have, at minusen er i en kategori, der i forvejen er dårlig.
Completely neutral, but others will give a 10% bonus.
Lige den der var så faktisk ret hurtigt, den der Crobat eller hvad det var.
To one stat and a 10% reduction to another. The way that you check this is by checking your Pokémon
Se der. Op, ned.
summary and noting which of its stats are marked in red.
Så det her, det vil jeg faktisk næsten sige er perfekt. Fordi han var physical fire, ikke? Jeg ved så ikke, om man vil bruge ham fysisk eller special attack. Special attack, det er jo for eksempel fire attacks. Physical attacks, det er, hvor de sådan melee slår, ikke? Og han var fire physical, var det ikke det, han var? Så han har fået boostet en vigtig attack stat, og han har i forvejen lavet defense, så den er blevet lavere. Så det er måske faktisk perfekt, det han har ramt her. Og det er random. Folk, der går meget op i Pokémon, de tjekker jo naturen, og hvis det ikke er den rigtige, så resetter de, så soft resetter de spillet, og så går de hen og encounter Pokémon igen og igen og igen, indtil de får det rigtige sådan set stats.
Are blue. Red means you get a 10% buff, and blue means you're getting a 10% reduction. The idea is to land a Pokémon with a nature boosting its most powerful stat and reducing a stat that it doesn't use often anyway. You don't have to cherry pick every Pokémon you catch until you get the perfect nature.
Er det en camo ball?
But for example, getting a Magikarp to evolve into a Gyarados with an adamant nature will go a long way compared to a Gyarados.
Prøv at se, den skal nemlig ikke bruge special attack, den skal bare bruge physical. Så altså almindelig attack. Så derfor kan den lige så godt have minus i special, og så bare boost attack.
With a modest nature.
Det er nice.
Pokémon is one of my favorite franchises.
Jeg kan godt huske det, Adamant, det er en af de bedste.
And I've sunk thousands of hours since I was a kid, so believe me when I say that we've barely scratched the surface. If there's a guide that you would like to see an explainer on, go ahead and let me know in the comments.
14 things I knew. Jeg er så ret sikker på thumbnailen, så er 10 things. Men det er nice. I never understood picking the stronger ones for the games. Pick the ones you like. Enig. Altså, det der min-maxing, hvor man bare skal have det bedste, og det er altså, spil nu bare, hyg nu bare. This is literally just a video for someone who knows absolutely nothing about Pokémon. Ja, jeg vil sige, halvdelen af tipsene var måske okay, måske lidt under, altså, men jeg har også spillet en del Pokémon. Jeg troede faktisk, de var lidt mere sådan, det vidste jeg ikke. This game along with Soul Silver and Heart Gold was my childhood. Jamen, altså kuldegysninger. Jeg er enig. I got a shiny Chimchar after only 5 resets. Der er du eddermame heldig. Så der er en, der har valgt Chimchar som sin starter, og så har han blevet ved med resettet spillet, så han starter forfra, valgt sin starter Pokémon som Chimchar, så han resettet. Han har så kun gjort det 5 gange. Det er ret heldigt. Shiny rate for Diamond, Brilliant Diamond. Standard raten er 1 til 4096. Det er så hver 4096. Pokémon du fanger eller får er shiny encounter. Men der plejer at være ting du kan gøre til sådan at halvere det og sådan noget. Lad os prøve at se. Hvad sker der her? Der er lidt forskelligt man kan gøre her. A new feature is the Diglett feature i undergrunden. Du ser forskellige Diglett og Dugtrio, og de går inden du kan nå at angribe dem, men de giver noget energi til dig. Og hvis du får 40 af det her energi, så får du en bonus i 4 minutter. Ja, så halverer du det, så er det 1 i 2048 Pokémon du encounter der shiny. Ja, og så kan du chain bonus. Og hvad er det nu det er? Det er først efter du har fået The National Dex, så får du Pokeradaren. Ja, det er rigtigt. Så kan du chain encounters. Og det er hvis du bliver ved med at encounter den samme Pokémon, så shaker græsset. Det her, det gjorde jeg seriøst dengang jeg var lille. Det var helt sindssygt. Så kan du få sådan en chain, hvor så ryster græsset et sted, så skal du gå derhen. Og så ryster græsset et nyt sted, så skal du gå derhen. Ja. Og så prøv at se, jo flere gange du kan chain, så kan du faktisk komme helt herned, hvis du får så god en chain der. Så du kan shiny hånd på den her måde. Og så begynder det sådan at være odds. Altså, man tænker stadigvæk sådan 1 ud af knap 100, det er stadigvæk rigtig sjældent, men det er altså bedre end 1 ud af 4000. I starten, altså, du skal bare være glad, hvis du ser en eneste shiny. Had a shiny Gyarados in the original. Nice. Jeg havde ingen problemer i spillet før Elite 4. Ja. Nice. Jeg preorderede Brilliant Diamond, og så ordrede jeg min Switch. Okay, sport. sport. Det er helt sikkert. Alright, Magai. Skal jeg lige tjekke. Det her det er ikke reklame. Jeg har ikke fået penge for det her, by the way. Men jeg er ambassadør for Elgigan, så har jeg ikke reklame alligevel. Men det er jo faktisk bare for jeg overvejer, om jeg skal hente dem i dag. Når I ser den her video, hvis I ser den her video, så skulle jeg gerne eje spillene. Har de vel player? Jørgen? Nej, det har de ikke. No. They do not have it in Jørgen. De har det i Frederikshavn. Ej, jeg kører mig ikke til Frederikshavn. Det gider jeg ikke. Det kan jeg simpelthen ikke overskue. Hvad hvis jeg så bare køber Pokémon? Der er også Pearl. Så det er Shining Pearl. Det er også 15 butikker. Jeg gætter på Jørgen ikke er en del af den. For satan! Det er ikke i orden. Jeg gad godt have det op her i weekenden. Ja, nu vil vi lige se, hvornår I finder den, eller den her video, hvornår den går online. Så skal jeg godt nok til Aalborg. Men jeg kan selvfølgelig være, jeg skal faktisk til Aalborg søndag, så kan det være, jeg kan købe det. Ja. Vi skal game med det her snart. Det mener jeg. Tak fordi I set videoen. Love you long time.